Hi, my name is Ryan Lane, and welcome to my review channel. So for today's movie, I will be reviewing M3GAN, or M3GAN, directed by Gerard Johnstone and starring Allison Williams, Violet McGraw, and Ronnie Chang. Anyway, M3GAN, if you will, tells the story of Gemma, played by Allison Williams, whose niece Katie, played by Violet McGraw, has just lost her parents in a tragic accident on during a ski trip. Anyway, since she is the closest family she has, Gemma becomes Katie's guardian. And never having kids of her own, she doesn't know what the hell to do with Katie. And because of this, in order to help Katie cope with the loss of her parents, Gemma decides to make an AI robot companion to help her out. What could possibly go wrong? Well, as you might expect, things do go wrong. The robot becomes a bit too smart for its own good, and let's just say things get very murdery up in this movie. Yeah, this film is bad. Like, this is pure January schlock, people. The writing is impressively thin. Every character is a thin two-dimensional archetype. Well, rather, the main characters are thin two-dimensional archetypes. All the tertiary characters are so thin in personality and writing that they hardly warrant mentioning in this review to begin with. Gemma, she's a toy maker who, gosh darn it, if only she could just learn that good parenting skills were the one we made along the way, could learn to understand that technology isn't the way to help her niece just heal from her traumatic incident. Katie, the character herself, she has basically two main personality traits. One, being sad her parents are dead. And two, being hopelessly addicted like a crack addict to technology, in which she becomes very violent, especially when she's separated from the titular doll, M3GAN. Yeah, and the titular doll itself, in terms of personality, it's nothing that you haven't seen from like a million other killer doll or killer AI stories. You know, it swears, it cusses, it does that weird cute thing where it tries to be creepy. It's, yeah, just completely unoriginal in design or writing. Also, there's this CEO, David, played by Ronnie Chang, who, he's your typical cliched greedy CEO. And since he's played by Ronnie Chang, you'd think he'd be at least a little bit funny, but no. Like, every line he delivers is so painfully unfunny. These lines that he's given, like, they read like lines that would seem funny on paper, but when actually spoken aloud, you realize, yeah, okay, alright, that probably wasn't as funny as I thought it was. The film's commentary about technology can be summarized in one simple, brain dead sentence: technology bad, humans good. The film does nothing to explore its themes of technology and AI and the effects of it upon children in an interesting or engaging manner that other superior films, or otherwise, haven't done before. The film's attempts at humors falls flat almost every single time without fail. Like, again, Ronnie Chang isn't the only character being given unfunny lines to deliver here, folks. So, yeah. Again, I feel like it's also due to the directing as well, because there are some lines that just don't seem like they were delivered well enough. Like, at one point, a cop jokes about a death of someone, and he laughs a little bit. It's like, oh, I probably shouldn't have laughed. It's like, I could see that being funny, but it wasn't directed well. I think the timing was off, and so yeah, the writing's either unfunny or not well delivered to begin with. And worst of all, this film isn't scary, like, at all. Everything from the cheap jump scares to the uncreative way horror set pieces are shot, I didn't even get so much as a shiver during this movie. Like, nothing. And since the characters are such two-dimensional archetypes, I didn't care if whether or not they made it out alive of their encounter with the robot equivalent of Taki Tina. Bonus points if you know what that reference is to, folks. The only decent thing about this film is the very opening scene, where it opens with a satire of modern day toy commercials. Everything about this scene is perfect. Well, okay, maybe not perfect, but it's good. At least it's good compared to the rest of the movie. Everything from the satirical writing to the hilariously dark delivery, it works hilarious. Like pretty much every laugh in this film comes from that very first scene. If this film had even half the good quality writing and acting prowess of this scene, I could have seen myself giving this film, 2.5 or 2 stars. 2.5 max. So yeah, ultimately, M3GAN is an unfunny, unoriginal, and worst of all, not scary horror film that is the prototypical example of the worst January has to offer cinema goers. So, with all that in mind, I will be giving M3GAN a half star out of 5. Anyway, thank you for watching, and have a good rest of your day. If you like this review and would like to see more like it, be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. And for today's comment section prompt of the day, did you like M3GAN? Why or why not?